How do you feel about yourself in this moment today? How do you feel about yourself?
I feel like I want to start building again. My name is Byron Hill. I'm a father, a grandfather, and even a great-grandfather. I'm an elder at my church also.
What are some things that you are most proud of?
Well, I'm most proud of the active impact that I've had on my children over the years. How I've influenced them in this thing or that thing. Matter of fact, I've influenced my oldest child in the field that she's in now.
Your favorite child?
My oldest child.
Your favorite?
Don't try it.
Okay, go on.
Photography and videography. I like the fact that I have how I've influenced them in the way of being good people, staying true to themselves, having equilibrium. Even though their mother and I did not stay together, we were still friends, and we're still basically a unit.
Can we talk about that? Because that was one of the questions that I have. Can you give your advice, even though you and my mom are not still together, you all have been a shining example of being a support system to your kids, to your grandkids. You guys are at every event. You're peaceable, you're cordial, you're kind. You come together for your family. Can you give advice to someone who may be going through that, a breakup with their wife or their husband or the father of their child? How important is that in the child's life?
Very important. This is the way I look at it. Do you want the best for your children, or are you just looking for the best for you? I want things to turn out right. I want everyone to be as happy and as productive and fruitful as possible. I don't see any use in being combative or argumentative. What will that help? That won't help you, it won't help anybody. I want everyone to have a good start, to have good footing, and that starts with my actions, my way of thinking, my feelings. And I feel that I want everyone to turn out or as good as possible, and that will happen when they have as much advantage as possible. Ill feelings, there is no room for them. We've got to move forward in this life.
So what was your biggest mistake that you can think of in raising us?
Well, I would have to say my biggest mistakes was thinking that I could just do this right, do everything right, with no instruction booklet, with no prior experience. One mistake that I made, my oldest son Ryan asked me to teach him how to play drums. And I told him I would do that. And I messed around and procrastinated and messed around, and I never did do it. No telling what could have become of his skills in drumming. And I still think about that today, and it bothers me today. And I wonder, in the back of my mind, does he ever think about that?
I didn't know about that. I'd have to say he turned out pretty good though, yeah?
Yeah, I think he did.
Even in spite of that?
Yeah.
What's your what are you most proud of in your raising us? You, as you said, you all didn't have a manual. You and mom were kind of young.
Well, what helped us, I know it helped me. You kids were good. I'm proud of the impact that we have on you. Apparently, we did something, we said something right. A couple of times that we took you all out. Once was to the library, and another time was at downstairs restaurant downtown. That's been long since gone. But in both times, me and your mother left you and went and took care of something for a little while. Yes.
Huh?
Hmm?
You just loved us?
We left you, right? Just sitting there. We had trained you. So both times we left you. And both times when we came library, the guard said, are those your kids? And I was thinking to myself, uh-oh, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, they are. What happened? What'd they do? She said, nothing. I was just watching them. And they were just sitting there talking quietly among themselves. They didn't go anywhere. They just sat there. And that's not what I usually see when kids are left alone. They're swinging off the chandeliers and running around and making noise. So I was kind of amazed at your kids, the way they behaved, and congratulations.
Yeah, we were kind of awesome.
You were. Another time at Walgreens, when they had the restaurant in the basement, the same thing happened.
I have a question for you that you didn't have time to prepare for this. I didn't send it to you on purpose.
Oh my God.
Yep. So a little time ago, and I hope this is okay to mention, a little time ago, I found out that you were in a bad way. You had you had a situation where you needed help. And I asked you, when I found out, because you didn't tell me, when I found out, I said, Papa, you have kids. Why didn't you ask us for help? And your response was, because all of you were doing well. And as long as you all are well, that's all I care about. And if my problems, me telling you my problems was going to in any way change you all's doing well, I didn't want it. I could come from my troubles and go see you guys doing well, and that's all I needed. Do you remember that?
I certainly do. My state of mind was that, all right, I can get through this. It's just me.
Yeah.
You guys are living your best life. I didn't want to rain on that. I didn't want to throw a monkey wrench in that. I just wanted to go ahead on and work my thing out best I could. And I found out you all were not pleased one iota
No.
about that.
During that time, I don't know if you realize, during that time, that's one of the times when you were going the heaviest with your homeless crusade, passing out to the homeless. I kind of backtracked on the time.
Yeah.
The time that you were kind of going through the worst of that situation with yourself. You immersed yourself in giving to others. We could have been using that time, resources, efforts to help you, but you were, as usual, turning outwards. That is a sacrificial thing that I think a lot of parents know, to be in that position where I don't care how I am,
Oh yeah.
as long as my kids are. However, I want you to talk to your grandkids and your sons and your daughters about caring for yourself and prioritizing your own mental health, your own emotions, because there has to be a balance. Would you have done it the same if you had to do it over again? And why or why not?
No, I wouldn't do it the same, because it ripped your heart in half. You were in so much misery when you found out about it. No, I would not do that. The guys, they took it kind of stoically, you know, like guys do. Marcus even joked about it, which I was relieved actually. But it ripped you in half. I would never want to see you in that much misery again.
You're still thinking about me. You're still thinking outwards. I guess let me ask this question plainly. For your grandsons and for your sons, is it a sign of weakness for a man to take time for himself, to care for himself, and when he can't, to ask for help?
No, it is not. It is not a sign of weakness. It's kind of hard sometimes for some people to ask for help. Everybody needs help sometimes. And that's what I would say to my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The president needs help sometimes, you know, and your family is the first one, your first line of defense to help you, because they care more about you than others might care about you. Don't do like I did and let a problem get bigger and bigger and bigger and be thinking to yourself, well, at least that's not them. It's not about, I'm gonna handle this some kind of way, I'm gonna get this done. Get some help. Get your family to help you right as soon as you can.
Excellent. Papa, what's the best thing about your grandkids?
The best thing I think about my grandkids is the opportunity that they're able to take advantage of, and they do it with style and grace. My grandkids are alive, they're good people, they are helpful. I've seen them help me in ways lately that surprised me. I don't know why I was surprised, but they've shown who they are. They help each other and they help me. And they're good people, they're happy, they're adventurous. I remember them all running down to Florida. They kind of up and decided to go down to Florida. And I said, they're just going down, they're moving down to Florida? And you said, yeah. And I said, that's youth for you. They had the courage.
Yeah.
They had the bravery. They had the presence of mind to go on down there. Why? Because they wanted to. I noticed that they go after. They see what they want and they go after it. And that amazes me. It gives me hope. It gives me hope for them.
You prioritize bedtime stories, you know, doing films, having fun, watching TV. You prioritize that with the kids, where some grandparents might think that was just kind of a waste of time, you know, I'm gonna let the kids do their thing. Why is that important to you?
It's never a waste of time. I can buy a new car. A car that I've always wanted with everything in it. 6 or 7 years, it's gonna start declining. Things are gonna start going wrong. And I'm gonna have to take it to the shop and spend lots of money on it. But with your family, your children, building memories is what really counts. You can have those forever. And if you don't grab it, if you don't get it, it's gonna be too late. I've gotta start tapping into their added energy and their hope and their happiness and their joy, and let them know I am your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, while I'm here. I've seen so many things in my kids that point to moving forward with their lives. And I want to continue that. I want to help that. You know, if I didn't sow it, I didn't get it. They're here. They're ready to get on to that. And I'm seeing Brandon, Josh, Tyler, Nikki, and I mean, just on and on. Brian and his family moved out of town to some new new things, new advantages, a new life. And I want to see the kids. They're so smart. They're so
Yes.
smart now.
You got two fearless kids in law enforcement.
Right. And I've got a fearless kid in her own life. I'm talking about Summer. She gets up there at church, and I thought she was kind of brave at first, but then I saw her getting up there doing the interpretive dancing, and she hasn't had lessons, and she's getting up in front of all of these people, and she didn't do it perfect, because she hadn't done it before, but she did so good, and she was not scared one bit. She got on up there and tore it down.
Yeah.
I like that.
She's a warrior.
I like that. She's a warrior, and her and her sister is so smart. Maddie and Savannah are so smart. I sat there when I was over at their house, and I just talked to them about their school, about their classes, and they loved the one thing that almost defeated me, math. It was not my favorite, but they are so smart. And little Brian, he amazes me. His mind is clicking like a computer. He negotiates about his punishment. He actually negotiates. He's got a fire in him. I don't know quite what he's gonna do, but he's gonna do something. Attorney, corporate advisor, those girls are so smart. And these guys are giving me hope. And they're gonna need this intelligence for this world that we got coming on the scene now. Brandon, especially. When we have dinners and talk, when he talks, he sees something. He sees into it. He sees around the corner. Right. And when he gets through talking about a subject, I always think, God, I wish I'd said that. Why didn't I say that? He's highly intelligent. All of our children are highly intelligent, and they're fair, and they care about people, and they're bold. Sometimes a little bit too bold.
Do you know what else they have? A twisted sense of humor. And I think the general consensus is that we all got it from you. What are your thoughts?
I might be guilty there, but I'm not gonna.
It's twisted.
I'm
like it's
not going to jail for it. I want to keep everybody laughing. I want everybody to be up. I don't want everybody to be serious.
Including yourself, though?
Yes, including myself. A lot of people say what you expect them to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say what's not expected.
Yeah, I get that from you.
I guess that's me.
My favorite childhood memory, it was when I was a child and I was part of was it All City Choir?
I think it was.
Yeah. And we had, in order for us to get downtown, you and I had to be on we had to take like 4 buses, a couple of trains, and we had to get up at 4:30. I remember either get up at 4:30 or be on the first bus at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me and you, and I remember it being the most magical time in my life. And it felt like, because nobody else was out on the street, it felt like the world was ours, like it was a different world. The trip that we had to take there and back, and to get up at 4:30, the sacrifice that you made every Saturday to do that for me, just so I could be in this choir. It was like one of the earliest moments of me thinking, you know what, my dad really loves me, and I'm important. I'm special, because this isn't school. This isn't required. I want to thank you for that. I never brought that up, I don't think, but that was one of my favorite childhood memories. Was there an incident in your life that greatly impacted who you are today?
Leading up to me being singing at Ravinia in the All City Choir, opposite the All City Orchestra, I had to go downtown. We practiced on Saturdays. and then All City Choir and the All City Orchestra practiced together, and that was some amazing stuff. That was an amazing time in my life. It was so amazing because not only were we at the rehearsal, but we took the train home, most of us.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And we were so enamored and uplifted by the songs we sang. We sang in groups, going down the street to the L station.
Oh, I love it.
We sang going down the stairs. We sang in the L station. We sang when we got on the train until just about everybody was gone. It's hard to describe, but it was, it felt like you said, like we owned the world.
Yeah, yeah.
We're singing in all these different places where we never thought we'd sing before. And it was fun and it was exciting and the people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nobody gave us any trouble, any problems or anything. And that was something I've always remembered. When me and your husband, Joe, took Nikki to college in Texas, we were even calling and getting things together on the car, in the car on the way down here. It was different from SIU, a couple of 100 miles away. We could run up there anytime. This was over 900 miles away, where she had never been, didn't know anybody. So we ran around, me, her, and Joe, and we stopped at every store we could think of and got everything that she needed. Got her signed up for her apartment. Went out to the store several more times because I thought maybe she needed this and she needed that. She could use. I mean, she's gonna be away from me. I gotta make sure we do this right.
This sounds good.
Out of her own mouth, she said, "My papa almost bankrupted himself getting me into college, but it was worth it." The last day, we got up and went to the restaurant early in the morning and had breakfast. And it was time to get over to the school. So we drove her over there. We had been over there. Matter of fact, we had walked through there. But this time we were dropping her off and going back home. And I had a heavy heart.
Yeah.
And she had a heavy heart.
Yeah.
But the only thing that buoyed my spirit about Nikki is Nikki took care of business.
Always.
She always took care of business. I knew she wasn't gonna be down here lost and not knowing what to do and just sitting up, and that made my heart a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So we dropped her off at one of the houses, and we said our goodbye.
Yeah.
We hugged and whatnot, and that was sad. You know, I'm dropping my daughter off 900 miles away,
Yeah.
and I'm going back home.
You look like you're getting choked up now.
Somehow it just didn't seem right. We did it, and she said, "I'll be all right, Papa. I'll be all right." And started to drive off, and she walked on over to the admissions and whatnot, and that affected me so much that after I got back home, I ordered some more stuff and sent it to her. She can use this. She can use this. She can use that. She can use this. I wanted to do what I could because I couldn't be there, and it turned out okay, and I'm so glad of that.
And look at her now.
Yeah.
Look at her now. When did you find Christ? That's a weird. It sounds weird saying that, but when did you?
Shortly after I finished, well, a little time after I finished with Sunday school.
Okay. How old were you?
I think I was 22.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, teaching Sunday school, not being in Sunday school.
So you were teaching Sunday school, and part of that time you weren't saved.
Yep.
How does that work?
It worked the way it worked.
It worked.
I wasn't all the way in there. I wasn't all the way convinced. I had joined partly because of fear, and then later on, after I learned more, it was more love,
Yes.
okay, and the knowledge that I had. At first it was kind of a fear of going to hell, but then I grew up further on down the road, and I learned the side of it that was going to lift me up and you know, make me strong, make me a good person and whatnot.
Papa, what do you want your children and your grandchildren to say about you after you're gone?
I want them to say that Papa was around. He participated in our lives.
What would you like your kids to say?
That they remember when I dropped them off at the babysitters and picked them up and tried to catch everything that they were doing, and took pictures and went out with them, talked to them, joked with them. I wanted them to know that I was not a person who was gonna let life beat me down to a place where I wanted to get out of it. I found new energy, new hope in the Lord. He helped me with that. I want them to say that Papa really cared about us, and we care about him. He came to our greatest adventures, and they've had some adventures. I mean, things that made me say, wow, I never had that in school. And Papa was there. Papa cares about me. He loves me. I want them to know that I want to be active in their life, and they mean the world to me. Be hopeful about today.
Even bad days?
Even bad days. There's some people who don't have bad days, but they're in the grave, so they don't have to worry about another bad day. Take it as it comes. Take it, and don't take it seriously. Don't take it if you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. And most of all, be curious. Be curious, and I think that's a lot of what this generation is about. They want to know what, when, why, where, and how. We used to take our parents' word for it, or our pastor or anybody take their word for it. But these generations coming up now, they want you to show them why, how. Don't just tell me something, show me why it matters. Be curious. I've been curious most of my life, sometimes to my detriment, but I was still curious. Being curious, I think, helps keep you alive.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I appreciate you taking this time with me.
All right, my pleasure.
One thing that I learned from Papa, one important thing that I learned from Papa, is that life is something that is worth pursuing. I think that since I was young, I've always seen you pursue passions, whether that's photography, whether that's camping, whether that's a knife collection, whatever it is. You see the things in your life that make you happy or bring you joy or that you enjoy doing, and you go for them. And that's important because we only get one life. And I think that watching you be brave in your pursuits for the things that you like, that was not a lesson that you meant to teach me consciously, I don't think. But that's something that I watched in you, and I think that's a lesson that I've learned from watching you all these years, is that life is worth pursuing. and pursue life relentlessly.
One important thing that I've learned from Papa, I think just to like enjoy the little things in life. Like Papa does a lot of like nature, like he'll just go out and just take pictures of nature, just to do it. And I think that helps you enjoy like the small things and the small wins in life that you don't think about like on an everyday basis. You know, when we're living our lives and we're running and doing everything, you don't get to stop and like just think about the small things, the small wins.
My personality trait that I think I got the most from Papa was being kind of quiet and reserved. And I get that all the time. People can't, a lot of people have a hard time figuring me out because I'm kind of quiet, reserved, and laid back. And, so I think that a lot of times they think that I'm antisocial, but I'm not. I'm just, just kind of quiet, reserved, not really the quote unquote super sociable type, but yeah, that's the personality trait that I think I got the most from Papa.
Hey Papa, Officer Grandson here. One thing that one personality that I got from Papa is to not take everything so seriously. Everybody knows, especially when we get together for family gatherings, this man doesn't take anything seriously. So that's one thing that I definitely learned, personality trait that I took from him.
I think my biggest personality trait that I got from Papa that he's passed down to almost everybody in the family would be creativity. I know Mom is super creative, and I know that she got that in turn from Papa, so I appreciate that. I still can't dance, but the creativity level of this family is up there, and it starts with Papa, so.
What's one important thing that you've learned from Papa?
For me, one important thing is, when we had the sleepover with Maddie's event, like how I said before, I remember when Papa was reading us a book, and it was kind of, one of the lessons of the book was like he kind of told us not to be like ashamed of our skin color, and that I think it was also and how you should be proud of your skin color, like that you have this skin color.
But how people shouldn't judge you by the color of your skin, but should judge you. Oh yeah, they shouldn't judge you by the color of your skin.
What is your favorite memory that you have with Papa?
My favorite memory with Papa is hearing him read us a bedtime story before going to bed at the sleepover.
My favorite memory with Papa is filming a movie with him at the sleepover.
Wait, I forgot what the movie's called. My favorite memory of Papa is when we were watching the Pilgrim's Progress at our house, and we were defining the words that were in the movie and stuff while he was babysitting us.
So I did some thinking. I thought, well, let me talk about something that actually enhanced how I felt about you. I already respected you coming out of the gate. I felt kind of a kinship with you right away. But I remember when we had to take Nikki from Carbondale to Texas, and it was 16 to 17 hours there, longer back. And during that time, not once did you annoy me. And that told me that this guy is more than just, a father-in-law. He's a friend. And because if you know me, it doesn't take a lot to annoy me, right? But you didn't, not once. I enjoyed myself immensely. You made the ride seem like it only took 5 hours. And there you were as a father as well, in doing this for Nikki, without any complaints, without any bravado like you normally see in some parents where, oh, look what I did for my daughter, look what I did for my son, and they have to post it everywhere and let everybody know. Not you. You do everything very quietly, and as a father should, and I have a great respect for that. And when we're coming back, if you recall, there was a tornado warning, and we couldn't even see with all the rain, but we found a gas station with no lights because the power was out everywhere. And you were just the coolest. You didn't freak out. You didn't whine. You were like me, like just going into troubleshooting mode, and not once did you freak out. And I thought, okay, this guy is not only a great father, but he's cool. He's cool as well. And so that was that.
One of my favorite memories growing up was when we were little, like probably Brian's age, and we were still in the old house on 119th and Wentworth, and whenever Papa would come home, we would all, when we heard the door, the keys going to the door, we would all run to the door and scream and yell, Papa's home, and we would run and tackle him, and we were just glad and ecstatic about him being home from work.
How would I describe Papa's sense of humor? I would say dry. Dry or deadpan, for sure. Gotta have a little something up there to get his jokes.
Papa's sense of humor in 3 words. Nothing like I've ever seen before. That might have been like 15 words, but you get the point.
And if I could say something about your sense of humor, stop, Papa. Stop. Listen close. I want you to lean in. Listen to me. This comes from the heart, okay? Stop, Papa. Stop. Papa jokes.
One thing that I want Papa to know for sure is that he is the glue that holds this family together. With all of his characteristics and his wisdom, he's definitely the Elmer's glue that holds everything together. Love you, Papa.
One thing that I hope that Papa knows is that he, as a photographer in our family, the first one that I know about, he definitely started something. I mean, like his creative eye definitely got passed down to his daughter and then passed down to me. And I think with every generation, we sort of improve it, like I think that's what every generation is supposed to do. And I remember him telling me stories about how he would just get a camera and just go out to the city and just take pictures of pretty girls. Which, I mean, if you say it out loud, it might sound creepy, but I basically did the same thing. I don't know if mom did the same thing. She takes pictures of naked girls. So I guess what I would want Papa to know is, his legacy with photography definitely got passed on to us. And I'm grateful that I had a Papa who not only enjoyed photography, but saw the gift in us enough to want to invest. He got me my first camera, and I'm never gonna forget that. So.
One thing that I hope Papa knows is that we really love him and care for him. I hope he's forgiven me for fussing at him, but I fuss like I would with my own dad, and it's all out of love. So I sincerely hope that he knows just how much he means to us all.
One thing that I hope he knows is just that how much, his family loves him, how much, we're behind him. And even when we're not all together in the same, house vicinity, is that everybody's one call away, 0 calls away, half a call away. Especially for Papa, if it has to happen, we're gonna make it happen. With $1 in our pocket or with $1 million in our pocket, we're gonna make it happen. So I hope he knows that, and I know he knows that. So I guess that was kind of a cheap one, but I hope he knows that.
It's the one thing that I hope you know, is through everything, through all the years, through all the stuff that we've been through, I have always looked up to you, not just as a father figure, but as a man. I have looked up to you. I don't look up to a lot of men. I don't. Some people would cry if I told them how I really felt about them as a man. But you, not once did I ever, you're old school like me, where you'll go through hell and nobody will know, and you don't wear it on your sleeve. You don't wear all your trials and tribulations on your sleeve. I do that, and I'm trying not to do that. And I think about you. I think about how Papa doesn't do that, and that just shows a great strength that, honestly, not a lot of us have. So that's just, I hope you know that. And well, you do now, because I told you. But there it is.
Hi, Papa. It's Carmen, one of your favorite daughter-in-laws. I hope you know how deep down inside we all love you, and we all care about you, and we all carry you in our hearts. Since the day I met you till now, till the day I die, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your humbleness, your kindness, your jokes, because they're so funny. And a memory I want to share with you that I have, and that I realized from that moment that you were somebody that, you were the person that I think, how I just described you, being humble and caring and so loving, and you're somebody that I look up to with so much wisdom. I remember there was a time where you stood up for me. I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago. But I know it caused pain after that, because you stood up for me. And it caused you to separate from people for some period of time. And I was hurt because that happened, but at the same time, I realized that you were willing to take that chance just to come to my rescue, or you were coming to stand up for me. And you did, and I hope you realize that was something that I kept inside me. And I love you. I always love you, and I will always be thankful for you, for being my second Papa. And thank you for letting me call you Papa. But I thank you, and that's a memory I'm always gonna carry with me forever. And we love you, and we pray for you, for your health, and we pray that you're with us for 20, 30 more years. I love you.
And that is his work ethic. One thing that I remember watching very, very closely as a kid was how you knew he didn't want to, but he still got up at the crack of dawn every morning, and got on a bus and got on the train and went to work. And I literally never one time remember him missing a day. He went into accounting. That's the reason why I went into accounting. I knew nothing about accounting, but I just knew my father does it, so let me go on ahead. And that literally, those are the jobs that have paid rent for me, in young adulthood. So that in addition to when I was in school at SIU, like I was telling you earlier today, there were many times when I was just going about my business, taking my classes, doing my homework, doing study, and just busy, but didn't have any money. I had this little bitty job and it paid the rent, but a lot of times I didn't have money to eat. Well, many of these times I'm just sitting wondering, okay, what am I going to do? Just try to think of something creative, and then I would go to the mailbox and there is magically a check for a couple $100 sent from Papa just because. And you are the reason why I was able to survive down at SIU, and I will forever be grateful for that. I don't think that I will ever be able to repay you for that, because it's one moment in my life where I remember one person literally thinking about me and caring about what I'm going through, and you didn't even need to reach out and call, you just sent the money. So I'll always be grateful for that, and many, many other things, of course. But those are the things that I think about on a regular basis. So thank you, love you. We'll always be grateful. And yes, that's it.
Be hopeful about today.
Even bad days?
Even bad days. There's some people who don't have bad days, but they're in the grave. So they don't have to worry about another bad day. Take it as it comes, and don't take it seriously. If you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. And most of all, be curious. Being curious, I think, helps keep you alive.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I appreciate you taking this time with me.
All right, my pleasure.